What's good, superstars? Back with another Veve video. You got superstar Joe. You got superstar Rob in the middle. How's it going, Rob?
Pretty good.
Trying to give you some web slinging, Grail, Secret Rare Spider-Man on the top of my mind right now. But guys, if you're new here, do not forget, become a superstar. Smash the subscribe button down below. Hit the bell notification so you know whenever we post a video about your favorite project. You can also become a superstar VIP, $2.99 a month. Hit the join button underneath the video. Get the star next to your name. Access to draw spreadsheets, price prediction spreadsheets, first dibs on merch. Star in the universe. 3 days left. We will be pulling a name for another star in the universe. Grogu is going to be there to give you that juju, help you solidify your spot in the sky. If you want to follow us, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, there's also a PO box in the description. If you want to send us something, become a Superstar Hall of Famer. And there is a Discord with amazing channels for all of your favorite projects. They're all popping. Everything's popping. There's so many different sections there. I get lost. I can't even catch up anymore. But definitely go check out the Discord. And shout out to all the VIP members. You guys are amazing, fantastic, beautiful, gorgeous, and all of the adjectives that you can think of.
Joe, Grogu. Look at this. It matches my cup. I love it.
There you go. No, I don't know. Are you gonna ever unbox it, or no? You can leave it in the box.
I might unbox it. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. It's in the box right now.
You guys collect Funkos?
Yeah, I'll probably unbox it at some point. I think. I don't think I can leave it like this forever. I gotta unbox it, and that way I can actually maybe put it in my cup.
That'd be funny. Grogu Inception. All right, so let us pull up the Veve news. It's been a while since we've done some of the Veve news, but we're gonna just jump to like yesterday's. We're getting a new comic book on Tuesday. It is Captain America 2004 number 34, and putting aside his Winter Soldier persona, Bucky takes up Cap's shield. So this is when Bucky Barnes becomes Captain America. We have the Marvel Mighty. And now it looks like we will have the first appearance, I guess it is, on the comic coming on Tuesday.
Yeah, and it got me thinking, like, the comics is part of the reason why Veve could just keep pounding out collectibles. What they can have drops pretty much 3 times a week. It's the comics that help them do it. Like, if you think about it, they have endless comics. Because we always are like, wow, Veve just keeps coming with the drops. They don't stop coming with the drops. And I think bringing in comics into the platform was one of the best moves in order to get that drop frequency up and keep people engaged. It's probably not that hard for them to be able to make the comic collectibles in AR. They probably have that one kind of file and they just kind of flip in. I don't know for sure. It'd be a good question to ask them if it's just as easy as like plug and play, with these comics.
Yeah.
But that's, it's the drop frequency helps keep the community engaged in Veve. So keep doing them.
Yeah, and the editions just keep dropping. We're at 7,500 now, looking like more steadily. 699, 7,500 editions. Really scarce. I kind of really like this rare comic with the Cap just in the middle there. But yes, you're right. The comics. It's the thing that I'm curious. I'm surprised about though is that the comics they keep releasing comics that are already existing, and they haven't gone to that level where they've put out Veve exclusive stories, not just covers, but like the entire book is a Veve exclusive. A lot of things on Veve when it comes to Marvel collectibles are exclusive on Veve. You got the Mighties, for example. Why not have comic books that are exclusive? We've done videos on this in the past. I just think it would be something that sets them apart, right? Like
the same storyline, it's just with different graphics. I don't know. I guess maybe
or even new characters. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if Veve yet itself has the IP power to draw on a crowd for something like that. But look at the Veve symbol, right? That's done pretty well because of the rumored utility. So maybe if they do things like that, people would want it because of any kind of Veve exclusive benefits that you might get within the app or within any kind of future functionality. So
I think the name is the Marvel name. If Marvel says, "Oh, our first ever comic book of James the Crocodile is on Veve," go get it. Then you know that the first edition was digital before any paper came out, right? So that's more along the lines I was thinking.
All right,
we're getting way more posters again. Another Star Wars set. Easy skip for me, but I'm sure they will be probably scarce. I'm not a poster guy. You guys know the story. We're not going to get into it, but. Whoa, 1277 editions, $30. 1077 editions, $30.
Yep.
This one's pretty cool. 777 editions, $30.
Yep.
And 777 editions, $30. And 525, $30. So pretty scarce overall. This one you got Darth Vader's helmet blowing up. That's pretty cool too. But
the Star Wars posters always tend to do pretty well. I find. I think this drop should be okay. Like, I'm not sure if it's gonna sell out, but I always find the Star Wars drops, all the Star Wars IP, but Star Wars even posters, they tend to do pretty well, especially when there's lower barriers of entry. I think 30 might be just a little bit too high, but we'll see if it sells out. If it does sell out, then it's a perfectly fine number.
I wonder how this would have done if they did the Little Mermaid type numbers. Like if they did $15 and like 200. Sure, we bought it probably like we saw there. But I wonder how the secondary market would perform, because like that mermaid drop is dropping every day. I look, it's down $20. So I think it's like $100 each now, which is crazy for 200 editions.
Well, I mean, but the fact is it's still holding from the listed price times 3. It's still well above the listed price. I never expected that stuff to hold, especially when people start trading them. Like the demand for those kind of things just kind of shrink fast. The supply doesn't really change, and the demand just kind of shrinks once the hot commodity kind of gets bought up by the people who really want it in their hands.
That's the thing. Like if the bots are the ones that are landing it on the drop, then the real people aren't actually doing well on this at all, because they would buy in and then it just consistently drops due to the lack of demand, right? So I mean, there's still a fine medium for them to figure out for the mid sizes, I think. So maybe this is the perfect size. We'll find out.
Yeah, we'll see. The bots assault. This is the problem. The bots assault.
All right, so let's go back a couple of days. May 27th, Dr. Profit showing us what he always loves to show us is the AR. This is what gets your brain going. It's like, if this is possible, imagine wearing glasses and playing like, this is almost like paintball with like digital lasers or laser tag, laser quest. You remember that place? You can build blocks, almost like Fortnite type of thing, where you're building a shield. So that's pretty cool. Imagine this in like real life. People are gonna run into walls and stuff.
Yeah, for sure. And this is great. When I first saw it, I thought it was real paintball. I thought it was. When I first saw it, I'm like, oh wow, look, there's like a legit paintball, but it's not. All AR, which is crazy.
And you see the guys shooting each other through their phones. They're like holding their phones up, actually. So it's pretty cool. That's like good done.
Yep.
That's pretty awesome. Metaverse Life did another great one. This was for Oscar the Grouch.
This is hilarious.
Sean in there. Really, really funny. You got Callie Brooks too in there. So definitely go check that out if you haven't already. Really funny stuff. He's always coming out with. Speaking of creative people, Mac NFTs. I think our first ever vault-aholic that we covered on the channel. He's back and he's been doing these. I don't know if you noticed, but from the beginning of time, he was doing these ones where he puts the collectibles in the shoes. And I think that Admiral Akbar is the perfect candidate for a shoes picture.
Looks great. Look at that beautiful blending of the colors there. Like it's like I thought for a second that those shoes were just part of the normal collectible. It's so good.
Akbar is actually really clean collectible. Like they did a really good job on that one.
Yeah, I find they do really good job on monsters, right? Any kind of monsters, any kind of things that are not actually trying to be a human, they tend to be pretty good quality.
I know it's really good. Then this is a little thing, CallMeCrypto explaining why they bought 308 lightsabers on Veve. So if you want to know why, you can go check that out. We retweeted it.
Yeah.
And the NFT philanthropy, if you thought they were gone, they are not. They keep donating to charities. This time it was for the Salvation Army, and it was a $90 purchase. So they matched the $90. And fantastic cause. Great friend of the channel, Bob Seelson, is involved over there as well.
Yeah.
And glad to see people giving back for a great cause.
Yep. That was great.
Double Quill's blog came out today as well. So definitely go check that out. I actually really enjoyed today's. Really, really good, really cool. And I think it hits home with a lot of people on the app. So definitely go check that out and let me know if you are in the same boat. Yeah,
she loves writing.
Alex and Crypto, he got some utility from our Discord. I don't know if you saw this. He was looking for a certain number Moon Knight. Omi Daily Burn hangs out in there often. He's very capable at reading the blockchain. And he was able to help Alex and Crypto track down the owner of a certain mint number. And voila, there you go. So Superstar Money Discord, like we mentioned at the beginning, it's in the description. That utility, Omi Daily Burn's providing a lot of it right now. But we're happy to have him there.
We're happy to have him there, of course. Omi Daily Burn is doing he's doing it completely out of his own goodwill. He just loves helping the community. So you can always reach out to him too on Twitter if you add him on Twitter, or if you want to find him in our Discord, you can do that as well, because he is just a community detective. He's always reading the blockchain, finding things, and putting YouTube videos out. So make sure you also give him a subscribe button. Hit that subscribe button for him on YouTube as well.
Yeah, he's trying to make everything better. Ducky and Cover, a lot of creative people recently. Ducky and Cover put out a track. You have to listen to this, all right? Because
It was a banger. It was a banger.
some of the lingo that he uses, man, I didn't even know how he thought of this. Like, he's very, very well thought out process when he came to making this track. So go check it out. He says it's not even the final version, but he couldn't wait. He couldn't hold back. So he released this version. Go check it out and give him a thumbs up. Smash like the heart button on Twitter. Retweet it all you can, because put a lot of work into it. You can tell.
Way better than my song. I can tell you that. Way better than my song.
I think we gotta step up our game. That's for sure. Come up with a new song.
I think you're right. I think it's time for a new song.
This is pretty big news. So we've been covering this project for a while. As you will see, OpenSea, the official OpenSea, 2 million followers, right there, right?
Yep.
Put out their blog. It is the latest edition of OpenSea Digest, and we're covering Pudgy Penguins. Second one right here, Cryptoys Star Wars drop,
there you go.
And a couple others. But the big news was that they're covering the Cryptoys project, and this is the blog here.
Yeah.
And they have a great piece on it, just a little bit of a write-up explaining to their audience, which is a big audience, about the project. I don't know. I think it's pretty good news, pretty bullish for Cryptoys.
Not sure if how much we can look into this. The fact that OpenSea put this on, even though the marketplace doesn't exist on OpenSea yet, but maybe they know something we don't. I don't know. I mean, this could be just a blog written by some just community members, and then OpenSea just kind of promotes it. But we do know that Cryptoys does want to have third-party marketplaces through the Flow blockchain. So I'm not really sure how OpenSea could be involved in that, but I know through Flow for sure it should be easily accessible. And then we asked questions when we had them in our AMA about the whole interoperability between blockchains and how important that may be, even though the technology I don't think is quite there where it needs to be for what we need right now. But Cryptoys, the fact that they're getting this kind of eyes on them from the OpenSea blog, like you said, retweeted 2 million subscribers on Twitter, just gets people seeing the name, becoming familiar with the name, and even if they don't buy right now, because I know there's a lot of people there waiting. They're like, you know what, I'm just going to hold off. It's kind of expensive for me. But when they get the marketplace and I have a chance to actually flip these things, or I can maybe just buy the one that I want instead of buying through the holocron, then you may see more people coming in. This is just continuing that pre-marketing phase of getting the word out.
Yep. No, I agree. Yeah, and then a couple more great polls. We talked about this. This was cool too. Laurie Brenner, great friend of the channel as well, actually got to meet up with Al Khan, and he opened his first ever pack of Pokemon cards. You believe that?
No, I
that
can't
the
believe
father of Pokemon never opened up a Pokemon pack until he met Laurie Brenner. So that's pretty epic.
Yeah, I wonder if they're gonna do. I want to go back to the last post as well, but I find it funny seeing them together like that. I'm not sure. They must live close by, or I don't know if she flew out, if she was in Europe for some other reason. But if you go back to one post, I just thought it was hilarious because he was saying that he was watching the Superstar Money.
Oh, here you go. Yeah.
Yeah. Read that. I can't.
I think that's some juju right there. If that's what you want to say. So
I responded. Yeah.
Just open Star Wars Cryptoy number 2 after listening to Superstar Money podcast. Hit an Ultra Grail, guys. That's the rarest you can get. It's a 1% chance, and you did it after watching a Superstar Money podcast. So
if you scroll down, I tweeted. I said that's what we call juju.
So you go. That's what we call good juju.
So they're learning now. They're learning.
Yeah, I never saw that.
Yeah, people for the Cryptoys, the community, they're gonna learn what juju is now.
There you go. Speaking of which, did you see this great write-up by Hero number 1234?
Beautiful.
He did a multi-thread about his Cryptoys experience. And he gave us great shout outs in here as well. He said, I haven't had time to do a deep dive, but was able to catch a few of our streams.
Yeah, I remember seeing them.
Definitely check this out. Really, really good read. He's giving off basically his firsthand experience. If you're questionable about the project, like obviously, like Rob said, it's expensive. You don't have to go for it. You can wait until the marketplace opens up. But if you want to keep tabs and maybe live vicariously through other people, Hero 1234 might be doing all the work for you. You can just sit back in your armchair and enjoy his process. But look at what he was able to hit. He's even checking it off, like which ones he's got, and he's got the entire Leia set, it looks like. So really, really cool. And thank you, Hero, for putting our name out there and just spreading the word. You know,
he is one lucky fellow. I mean, he got the Ultra Grail for the Leia, which is pretty incredible. So I
mean, that's another person who watched the podcast got an Ultra Grail. I'm just saying the juju might be a little stronger over there.
something's adding up here. There's something more to this. There's something more to this.
Exactly.
Juju is real. Juju is real.
So Rob, the title of the video, I mean, why do we think that maybe everybody should start to pay more attention to their MCP collection rather than looking at the Grails and have the nice shiny thing? What is our reasoning behind that?
There's endless amounts of strategies that we've pretty much done a video on all these different strategies, right? One strategy was about buying cheap products because then they can double easier and you can stack them. You can flip them to Carlton. We call the crypto pro strategy on this channel. But then there's also the MCP strategy coming into the future. Here's the thing with this one. I would say this is highly speculative because MCP doesn't really exist in a utility format yet. Like, it's not really there yet. Like, sure, we now have it on the profile, which is great, but the use cases of MCP don't exist yet. However, with that being said, you have to balance the pros and cons of saying, okay, if I don't go the MCP route, I'm going to go and spend more money on elite Grail collectibles. But here's the problem. And this is something that we've always talked about, which is that the Grails of yesterday may not be the Grails of today. And I think there's a lot of things to be said about long-term historical value. But in the near term, you got to be careful because there's really no end in sight in the glorious drop that we've been seeing in the Grail classification of collectibles. So let's start with the partner statue. Partner statue all-time high was 49,000. Glorious drop, down 95%. It's down to 2,100 gems. It's right now the same price as Luke Skywalker. and Luke Skywalker doesn't even look like Luke Skywalker. And it's not even, I mean, it's also not animated, but at least you can say that this partner statue was
a one of one. Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a one of one. There's no other, alternate golden moments of this. This is the only one. You could go buy the animated Luke Skywalker. It's from the same drop. It just doesn't have the same level of scarcity. And don't get me wrong, the partner statue also doesn't have a lot of scarcity. There was a lot of editions that when it sold out, 4,333 editions. So it had a lot of editions. There's a lot of speculation back in the day. Oh, if you own this, maybe you get utility. But man, this was considered the Grails of all Grails. And it's down to an all-time low of 2,100. Let's keep going. Todd's at 649. I remember there was a time people were saying, will Todd hit 1,000 or 10,000 first? It was a ridiculous question. By this point, the market has already shown its glorious dump. It already showed that downward trend. Sometimes people were getting faked out by little bumps and they were getting excited, but the trend has never flattened. It's only been down. We're at 649 gems for Todd. 7,500 of these exist. One of the most well sought after collectibles in the Veve community last year. And now it's only 649 gems. So it's really, at this point, doable compared to what it was back in the day. Hit an all-time high of 14,600. Wow. We got Emperor's Fist. When this came out, people said, Grail. Down to 450 gems. Only an 86% drop from all-time highs. The other ones were 95, probably because it came a little bit later in the year. But this was also considered one of the greatest Grails, 5,977 of them, down to 450. So there's a lot of things in the app right now that around 450 that you can buy. But I would say out of all of these, the most surprising of them all was Secret Rare Spider-Man. This was truly considered the most scarce Grail on the app. It was the biggest flex to have a Secret Rare Spider-Man. It was from the first ever Marvel drop on the app. It's Spider-Man, one of the most popular characters in Marvel. I mean, people would always think Spider-Man first before any other character in the Marvel universe, especially pre-2000s. That's my opinion. You comic book experts can let me know below your thoughts on that. But that's the way I saw it. I always cared about Spider-Man before I cared about anybody else. Maybe the Hulk was a close second. But then after that, I didn't care about Iron Man. I didn't care about all these other guys. Secret Rare Spider-Man, 4,575 gems from an all-time high of 91,500. Obviously, the market was a different time back then. 95% drop. It's dropped 20% over the last 30 days. Just 30 days ago, it was at 6,000. Now it's down to 4,500. It's at an all-time low. Secret Rare Spider-Man is probably the best example of yesterday's Grail being not a Grail anymore.
Grail today, gone tomorrow. That's what it is, right? I mean, it's actually, it's kind of scary because it almost makes you not want to put anything into any of the Grail type collectibles. Anything that I mean, you have to have diamond hands. That's the true word for it. We've obviously not seen a slowdown in the drop in the market. I know that there's certain things that go up which are very, very easily manipulated. I mean, because of the scarcity of those drops, there are people who are strong believers in Veve that are holding on. And I think obviously the less additions, like we did a video about it a couple days ago. We talked about how that's a way to bring back the hype into the market, and I think that's what you're seeing right now with the Luke Skywalker drop. Even if it's not the best drop, the scarcity is something that is helping to pump it. And if they can streak together a bunch of those, I feel like that people might start chatting about it, talking about it again. But this is the proof here that these were our Grails. These might still be Grails in the long-term future when you bring in the masses. But until that happens, I mean, maybe we're going to get collectibles that have 30 editions, and then maybe we're going to get collectibles that have 12 editions. Maybe we're going to get one of one collectibles that drop on this app. Then what's going to happen? What will happen to your Lukes? What will happen to your, I guess, Miles? All the other ones that are a little bit lesser, like right now, that's the least. But what happens in a year from now? Are we going to have other opportunity? You're going to also have a much more diluted market. Are you going to have the users that you expect in a year? Is there a point on holding on to any of these collectibles when you could be making your case for MCP and just buying into MCP like crazy, spending all the gems that you have on MCP, or holding gems, because opportunity cost of holding gems is always great when it comes to being able to go for something secondary market that you feel will have some kind of an increase. But I think MCP is, like you mentioned, they don't have the utility there, but once you do get that utility, if you're positioned in the race, that's one thing that if you build for it ahead of time, you might be better off than building for it when it actually arrives. Just because once you actually have your position, your MCP position, then you might have better access to certain drops or whatever it is. And then what happens if one of those drops ends up being a 1 of 10 or a 1 of 20? You don't know, right? So I think that's the thing with Veve. It's that there's always hype cycles that come around certain drops. Darth Vader was the perfect example that you brought up there. That time was an entire month of hype leading up to Darth Vader. He was going for like 2,500 gems, and now he's only going for maybe even more than that. Now he's going for 450. It's crazy.
Yeah, and that's why, like, we're basically, what do you do at this point? You can't buy Grails right now because they're just on a downward spiral. Every single month they're dropping in price. On the low side, they're dropping like 8-9%. On the high side, they're dropping 20%. You go buy a Grail, you should expect in 30 days the price is going to go down. And it's been like this month after month after month. So what do? You might actually just be better off buying a bunch of cheap stuff with high MCP points. You can go to VVSetlist.com. Our good friend Bravos Assassin, a good friend of the channel, he's created this website. You can actually filter sets by dollar per MCP, or you can go maybe you have an appetite for collectibles. You can go search by collectibles, or you can go to comics. You can search by comics. And like, what are you to do if you can't buy Grails? At least go for utility, because you got to remember something. Grails on Veve today, when new competitors, we've seen Cryptoids now come, if they start producing the same IP with real utility, like gamification, like AI-powered communications, if they start coming out with this functionality while Veve collectibles are not able to do anything, I guarantee you right now, people will sell their Veve collectibles, cash out, and go buy those ones, because they will believe that those ones, the utility will power the value in them in the future. And I that's what Veve has to watch out for. So, I mean, if you're gonna go buy Veve Grails, I would back off right now and say, let me at least do the MCP program, because they're lower priced items. They're going to get me MCP points. And then when Veve comes out with their utility, which will attract new users and attract people, you're well positioned to take advantage of that utility, because right now the market has a new appetite. Scarcity is king right now. There's not a lot of users on the app right now. So you find value in scarce items. If there's more users on the next bull run, then maybe these Grails that continue to drop in price will then be sought after again because of their historical relevance. But in the near term, I mean, I don't know. I feel like if I had 4,500 gems, I wouldn't be buying a Secret Rare Spider-Man. I'd probably be buying a Todd and a Partners, and then maybe I will go and buy a whole bunch of $5, $6, maybe some lightsabers. I don't know. Something that maybe will have future utility. I'm speculating, but maybe I could use it to craft in the future. Maybe I
your
could
own luck.
make my own. Exactly. Maybe I can use MCP points in the future to get me land.
Yeah.
Right. So we don't know. Maybe land opportunities are going to come up. So go for MCP, or we're going to be able to rent collectibles. These are all things that have been promised by Veve that we're not going to see. And MCP at least is the most here out of all the things they promised. Like Veveverse stuff. Like at this point, like we honestly don't know when we see the Veveverse. They've delayed it, and they may delay it for the rest of the year. Right now, they bought themselves like another 3 months. I think there's a good chance right now we may not see the Veveverse at all this year. So with that understanding, at least if you go for MCP points, you can see your MCP points being added up. And then hopefully when Veve brings their utility, you are well positioned to take advantage of that and profit potentially on that and use the app in a better way. And for the true collectors out there that don't care about value, well, this is great. You now have more things that you can collect instead of just one collectible.
So, hey, Rob, on that website you're on right there, can you sort by dollar per MCP?
Let me see.
And under comics, yeah. So you got, what do you got there?
Amazing Spider-Man.
The other way. Like from low to high. There you go.
The most overvalued comic. The most overvalued comic is also the worst for MCP.
Okay, so see the second one right there? I thought it was the most, but anyways, I'm on Tarzan of the Apes number 208. Yeah. So as you can see, like obviously a bunch of rare comics and ultra rare comics are in there as your best, most efficient way of getting MCP points. So I just wanted to show this quickly. So this is on my NFT tracker, who's been keeping up to date recently with all of the prices, but I wanted to show something that's a little bit different than those charts you were showing. And as you can see, this is over the last 90 days. The price has steadily increased and kind of maintained itself because there are people looking to increase their MCP positions. So this has been a decent strategy over the last 3 months, whereas things you were showing over there look kind of a lot more scary for those grails. So like, doesn't even make any sense to be holding on to any of those things, or should we be repositioning completely into some MCP plays? I mean, it's not the greatest of trends, but I mean, it is a trend and it is in the right direction.
Well, they're just not sexy, you know, like when you go, you buy these nice grails and you're in the community for a while and people are like, whoa, you got that. And you get that nice, like, yeah, I'm part of that club now. But in the end, the data doesn't lie. The prices on these continue to drop. Whereas at least these ones that have MCP, the value is right now, the fact that they have good dollar to MCP ratios. Yeah. So if you go and buy these things, other people who want to add their MCP position will also buy them. And at least you're playing in an area where you don't feel like you're just getting ripped off. Like nobody wants to, I don't care if you're a collector, you don't want to go buy a collectible and then 30 days later you lose like $2,000. Like you don't want that. Like you could say you're a collector, but you don't want to buy something and lose $1,000 at 30 days later. So why buy it? And that's what the trends have shown month after month after month on some of these grails. I think obviously now with currently the pricing that we're seeing with Todd, you won't lose $1,000, but you might lose like $50, $100 as per month or whatever it ends up being. But at least MCP, you're dealing with tiny dollars and you're getting really good MCP points, which may really pay off in the future, especially with potential land opportunities and the synergies that Veve wants to do between MCP and OUP. And we know the OUP is going to be a big thing with golden tickets and land, right? So there's so much on this topic. I mean, guys, let us know below what you think below. If you had 5,000 gems right now, are you buying Grails or are you buying MCP? We know Crypto Pro, our good friend Crypto Pro, we know he's buying Ice Kings. He's going to buy only Ice Kings. He's going to flip them.
Two Storms and Electras.
They're going to 10x over something, and then he's going to flip them. And it's a bit. He's done really well. It's been an effective strategy for him. But what would you do with 5,000 gems? Would you go and buy these grails, or are you now convinced that maybe you should be buying MCP, or would you just hold them? That's a good strategy sometimes. Yeah. Don't participate in anything. Just hold them for maybe when the time is right. Let us know below. We want to hear your thoughts. We read every comment, even though we don't respond to every comment anymore. We still read every comment. So please leave a comment below. And especially do not forget, If you haven't already, become a superstar, smash subscribe button, enjoy Superstar fan, hit the bell notification button, get every single video every single day. And guys, Superstar VIP, $2.99 a month. Thank you guys so much for your support. We really do appreciate your support. If you want, join the VIP membership. We'll tell you our moves, our buys and sells. Get a star on your name, giveaways every month, access to our spreadsheets on drop day. Guys, thank you all so much for your support. We appreciate you. Take care, and we will see you on the next one.
Love you. Bye.